And we're looking at what it takes to get rich in Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, I don't mean big score, $40 million rich. I'm talking about Devin Weston, penthouse, $2.1 billion rich. Billion with a B. That's right. You can become a billionaire if you follow one simple rule. Don't do any of Lester's assassination missions until after you've completed the final heist. If you've already played through the game on 360 or PS3, you probably knew this already. But if you're just visiting Los Santos for the first time, here's how to take that measly 38 or 39 million you made during the big score and turn it into some serious walking around money. Once you pull off the Union Depository heist and finish the game, you should have around $38 million in each character's bank account. Maybe a little bit more if you helped out the FIB and, spoilers, killed Trevor. Lester still has 4 assassination contracts for you to complete, and they're where you're really going to rake in the big bucks. Of course, you had to complete the hotel assassination in order to move on to the story, but for the love of science or whatever you believe in, make sure not to take on any of his other missions until after completing the big score. The first assassination after the big heist is the multi-target assassination, where Franklin has to take out 4 jurors who've been bribed by Redwood Cigarettes in order to avoid paying out for a class action lawsuit. Before starting the mission, have all of your characters invest in Redwood's rival, Debonair Cigarettes. Once you take out the jurors, you'll see their stocks start to rise. If you'd sell your shares immediately after the assassination, you'd see around a 60% return on your investment. But if you wait until the middle or evening of the next day, you'll see a return of almost, if not double, the amount you put into it. The highest we saw was around 103% return on our investment, which ballooned our bank account to around $80 million. The next big step is to dump all your profits from Debonair right back into Redwood while their stock is still at its lowest value, which seems to be around $35 or $40 a share. Wait a couple more days of in-game time, either by sleeping or just tooling around, and you'll see the Redwood prices skyrocket back up to over $150 a share, which is more than a 300% return on your initial investment, netting you a cool profit of around $200 million. Now that you've got a decently sized nest egg to invest with, head to the next Lester mission, which is the Vice assassination. Apparently, a morally bankrupt tech CEO has a penchant for ladies of the night, which Franklin can use to his advantage. Before the mission, invest in GTA's version of Apple, the Fruit Company, which is part of the Bossack network. Immediately after completing the mission, sell off your fruit shares for a 50-ish% return and a tidy profit of around $170 million. The next step is one that a lot of folks forget, and it's the one that makes the difference between netting more than $2 billion in the stock market as opposed to a piddly little $1.4 billion. After selling off your fruit shares, head over to the Facade stocks page and put all your money into that. Their shares have dropped by around $200 each. Head back to your house, sleep for a day or two until Facade stocks return back up to around $470 a share. It might seem like the 30% return you'll get isn't that much, but that extra $150 million will make all the difference in the world. For the next assassination, you're only going to affect one stock, and you won't even be investing it until after you've completed the mission. The bus assassination sees Franklin hijacking a city bus in order to take out an automotive executive and put the kibosh on a big merger. After you eliminate Mr. Penny, wait a short while for the price of vapid motor cars to plummet, then put all $650 million you should have by now into that. Head back to bed for a day or so, then sell off your vapid stock for 100% return, doubling your money and netting you a whopping $1.3 billion per character. Now, that much money is enough to buy all the property in San Andreas and still have a bunch left over. But there's one more assassination to take care of, and this one will give you enough to finally build that Scrooge McDuck-like money pool in your basement. Before starting the construction assassination, dump all of your collective $3.9 billion into Gold Coast Construction. The idea is that by taking out the mob boss who's extorting the company, the construction firm will stay in business and their profits will go way up. Once you blast your way through the construction site and take down Benelli, wait a day or two and then sell off your last ultra-profitable stocks for about an 80 or 90% return and make a huge profit of more than an additional $1 billion. And that's it. You're officially now a Vinewood billionaire. Just remember, the road to riches is paved with patience and constant manual saves. Be sure to turn off auto-saving just in case you invest in the wrong stock or sell at the wrong time, and be aware that if you do miss a peak in stock prices, you'll probably see a similar high on the